Can I put this here? 1, 2. Mic check. I do not know where the restroom is. All right. All right. Hello, guys. I'm just gonna get started. Um, First of all, thank you so much for showing up. There's actually way more of you guys than I anticipated. So it's also my first workshop. So it's pretty exciting. But yeah, today I want to talk about applied prompting. A little bit about myself and why you should trust what I tell you today. It's because, well, I so my major is immersive media design. Any IMD here? Yeah, that's what I thought. It's okay. But um, yeah, it's during my time at UMD, I was in Startup Shell, which is, I don't know if you guys heard about Startup Shell before, but it's like a really cool place where people who love just building things, creating things, gather. And I think there was a guy named Sender. He's the founder of learnprompting.org. And he was one of the like early adopter before GPT-3 came out. And I got to really explore GPT at the early stage. Um, and it gave me a lot of ideas on like how prompting, it not just for your personal gain, but how you can make applications and create a lot of other usable functionalities to help the world. So that's where I created Sociable AI. I'm not gonna go too deep into it because I'm not here to like advertise or anything, but essentially my startup, what it does is it's an AI web app platform where anybody can personalize or customize an AI persona and deploy it on social media in order to automate social media engagement like comments and DMs. So you can like go in there and like type in, like I want this guy name to be Thomas, and he's like egotistical, and you can go through like a role play scenarios in order to customize your AI persona for it to automate these engagements. But also I'm in part of Hatchery. I love beatboxing and cooking. That's like my hobby. If you guys want to hear me, just talk to me after, and I'll go to a corner and like beatbox in the corner. So, but yeah, in terms of prompting, I'm gonna talk about zero shot, one shot, and few shot prompting. And at the end, I'm gonna talk about the little magic word that changed my life and made my prompting like 10 times more efficient. Um, while I was preparing for this workshop, the hardest part for me was understanding the average, I guess, like the standard, the knowledge of everyone's like ability to prompt. I realized that a lot of people surprisingly like never really use ChatGPT, which was a shocker for me. I'm assuming the fact that you guys showed up here, you guys definitely probably use ChatGPT, but just for a show of hands, how many of you guys actually heard of like zero shot, one shot, few shot prompting? Okay, you can get out pretty much. Like you're good. um, but yeah, zero shot prompting. So zero shot prompting is something that you guys probably do already most of the time. Um, this is kind of like an example prompt that I wrote. Oh, it's hiding it. That's not good. Also, someone want to admit the room. Okay. So I said, you're a social media marketer, write a social media post about bacon. Make it casual, concise, less than 20 words. So zero shot prompting is essentially where you're telling the GPT that you're an expert blank, and then go ahead and do XYZ. This is the most like traditional, typical prompt that you guys see. It's very convenient, but it's not reliable. Reason it's not reliable is because when you're doing prompting, you're essentially restricting and constraining the freedom of AI. And the words like keep it casual, keep it concise, those could be interpreted into various ways for the GPT. So what you could also do on top of this is you could define what casual actually means for you, right? And what actually is concise. I kind of did it here where like keep it concise, meaning less than 20 words, right? For me, that's what I feel like concise. But that can actually change depending on context. So there's chance where if you run this prompt, it could give you like 6, 7 sentences response, and it thinks it's concise. And you know that's just because the word concise is so vague. So in order to mitigate this, you guys probably have done one-shot prompting. It's where you guys give an example. Again, it's hide. It's hidden on the top, but at the very top, it says, can I hide this? You guys know if I can hide it? The bottom, just drag it. I am okay, okay, okay. All right, thank you guys. I appreciate the support. I use Google Meet for my meetings. It's convenient. You guys should check it out. But yeah. So you give an example on the top. You're like, all right, this is how I like to write my social media post. Now, keeping that in mind, go ahead and write XYZ. It works really well in simple application. So it means that if you're doing some simple like algorithms, or if you want to like parse data, right? Like this is how I like to parse data. This is how I like to structure things. Here's an example. I like go at it. It does really well on it. And it does take a little bit more effort compared to zero shot prompting, but I do believe that everybody who wants just a quick prompt in order to execute whatever you need to execute should be using one shot prompting over zero shot prompting. It's like same effort and it's better result consistently. But the ultimate way of prompting is few shot prompting. It's the most reliable way where you're giving like a whole data set about um, how you write in a certain way, and you're using that and just saying it, use it as a reference. And it's funny because the entire point of LLM is like, here's like a huge data set, and go ahead and like find patterns in this data set and like learn. And that's what LLM really is. And you're kind of training LLM inside of LLM, right? Um, so you can pretty much like do anything by doing few shot prompting, where like you could um, feed in like every email that you ever wrote and then be like, here's examples of all the emails I wrote. Like go ahead and write an email matching my voice, my length, my style, blah, blah, blah. And I can do exactly that. It's actually almost perfect when it comes to GPT-4. It's like kind of scary. And few shot prompting is what I use for my applications. Um, so yeah, when you guys have to do some complex tasks down the road, I definitely recommend that you guys do few shot prompting. The magic word that I want to show you guys is absolutely. Like if you thought everything I said so far is boring, like that's okay. Just remember this, absolutely. The word absolutely. The reason it's so powerful is because GPT is really good at keeping things in a spectrum, right? Like I said, it's about restricting freedom when you're prompting, where if I say concise, like we don't know what concise actually means, like what's concise for you. But if you just say absolutely, you have the ability to make things black and white and no longer a spectrum. And that's why it's so efficient. So I'll give you an example of what I mean. I said, hey, you're writing social media posts, like write about bacon. And then I said, don't use emoji and hashtags. And it still does it. I'm sure you've experienced a similar thing where I'm like, I told you not to do it. Why do you keep doing it? And then you like copy paste like 3 times. It's like, don't use emoji, don't use emoji, don't use emoji. And at the end, you still get that one emoji and you're like, damn it. um, but if you just say absolutely, it fixes it. And that's because it becomes zeros and ones and it's black and white, where there's no need for GPT to use its common sense where you're like, oh, it's a social media post, so therefore maybe use emojis. It's like, no, GPT, just absolutely don't use it. And it will obey you. And you can be the ultimate master of GPT. I actually want to talk about Claude. Has anybody in this room used Claude? Perfect. Use Claude. Claude is from anthropology. I don't know. Some people may care, but they care a lot about using ethical LLMs. So all the data set that Claude is trained on is ethically sourced, meaning that they got like consent and permission from whatever company um, to train Claude. But you should use Claude not only because it's ethical, but also because it has features like you can literally just drop your PDF, like doc file. That's something that GPT can't do originally without having any plugins. But also, it kind of has the ability to actually like think and have higher common sense. Um, so, for example, on the top, the GPT says, crispy, savory, also delicious. Bacon lovers, unite. What's your favorite way to enjoy the sizzling treat? Hashtag bacon love. Essentially, you can tell that he just like put together a bunch of like social media sounding phrases about bacon. And then he's like, boom, here you go. While for Claude in the bottom, it's like sizzle, sizzle, nothing beats the aroma of crispy bacon in the morning. Hashtag breakfast of champion. There's something really interesting to notice here is that the word sizzle, sizzle connects into the aroma of crispy bacon in the morning, which connects into breakfast of champions. So there's actually like a storytelling within the copyright, um, which ChatGPT 3.5 can't do. Um, but if you're using ChatGPT 4 because you're like really rich, um, go for it. But if you guys are looking for like free LLMs to use, Claude definitely outperforms GPT in most cases, except data structures and coding. If you guys are coding and you guys want to use ChatGPT, like keep using ChatGPT. Uh, it's really good for that. So, but nevertheless, I kind of want to wrap it up by showing actually what I built by prompting. So in March, there were about 3,000 startups under the name AI. Um, so, I think ChatGPT came out in like October, and like within 5 months, 6 months, no, 5 months, 5 months, there were 3,000 startups um, under just the name AI. So that kind of shows the ability for people to like come up with applications of prompting, um, and in order to solve problems. So this is my startup, Sociable AI. Like I said, it's a web app platform where you're able to customize your AI persona in order to automate social media engagement. The value proposition here is that if you're a social media marketer, which is my background, that's why I like the bacon copyrights, right? Um, is because I had to spend a lot of time just like responding to DMs of this big Instagram accounts for corporations. Um, and I also had to like reach out to other brands and be like, hey, I love this thing. Please notice me, senpai. And that was the general vibe. And it's hard to track the ROI. Like I don't know if I'm actually making any changes. I don't know if this actually brings more people in, but you just do it because that's how you engage with social media, right? So I'm like, I don't want to do this. AI can do it. So here, this is kind of social AI. So essentially, you go into persona section, and it's like here's name, age, gender, pronouns. Uh, I love cooking. I love filming videos. We put in a skill, and this is like I'm really expert at X, Y, and Z. So after kind of feeding all this information, you go into behavior page, where you're able to kind of have a role play with the user in a certain scenarios. You're like, oh, in an introduction scenarios, I want to talk like, hi, and then this like hypothetical audience bot or fan bot will start talking to you. So after you accomplish the series of these role plays, essentially it's few shot prompting, where here's like arrays of examples of all these conversations in different scenarios, and then like go ahead and talk like this person. Like that's kind of simplifying it, but essentially that's what's happening in the back end, right? Um, and you can also like fit in a memory section where you can drop PDF or doc file, and you can integrate it into a social media platform. So the purpose here is that it's like a very complex MATLAB prompt plus few shot prompting. And anybody can generate high performing AI persona without actually understanding how to prompt really well. So the outcome of that is, let's look at this one. So this is Blush. Blush is supposed to be a 26-year-old girl who works at a cafe. She's actually a character of a YouTuber with 400,000 subscribers. And you're able to say hello to my friends. And you're able to like deploy this on Discord, Instagram, and various other stuff. Hey there, friends. All right, anybody want to say anything to it? All right, come on, guys. What's she doing today? Okay, what are you doing today? What are you doing today? I'm really bad at typing with one hand. Yes. Dang. Yeah, she's not aware that she's in a YouTube because she's like an animated character, right? But the hardest challenge in this process was like making it sound like actual human, you know, because GPT has a tendency to wanting to sound like an assistant all the time. So you're by doing few shot prompting, you're really able to like force inject sounding not like a GPT pretty much. Yeah. That's pretty much all I had to share today. If you guys have any questions, I'm here. But yeah, other than that, thank you so much, guys. Tell me a joke. Your face. Yes. I'm so sorry. You have to speak louder. The Claude. Yeah, Claude by Anthropology. Definitely check it out. Yeah. Yeah, I worked at Startup Shell, meaning like pulled all nighter at Startup Shell. Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, let's go. Start off gang. Oh, I forgot to mention, for spring, we're going to be opening internships. So the office is at the CS building, so it's gonna be very convenient. So if you guys are interested in internship, go ahead and follow Sociable AI on LinkedIn, and we're gonna post all the job applications soon. So heads up.